Okay, yeah. Let's get back to the slides. Where is it? Ah, here it is. Okay. So where were we? Symmetric information, what we said was both sides have the same information about the quality of the product. If I know that you are selling me a good quality product, can I, as a buyer, offer you a low price? I can't. You're not going to sell it. As a seller, if I know that I'm selling, that you know that I'm selling a low quality product, can I offer charge you a high price? No, you're not going to buy it. This is the assumption that we start off with, that the buyers and the sellers, they know very well which is the good product, which is the bad product, and thus there are two different prices for two different products. But later on, we're going to break this assumption where we'll see that one of the two parties, either the buyers know more about the quality or the sellers know more about the quality. This type of market cannot sustain ultimately. How they sustain, we'll look at it later. Okay, the next one was formal and informal.
Sir,
Carry on.
sir, ওই যে the latter type of market that you just mentioned, what's the name of it?
Which one?
স্যার যেখানে হচ্ছে মানে বায়ার বা সেলার যে কোনো একটা পার্টি বেশি জানে প্রোডাক্টটা নিয়ে।
Oh, those are known as lemons markets.
লেমনস মার্কেট, আচ্ছা।
Lemons markets.
আচ্ছা, সিমেট্রিক্যাল অ্যাসিমেট্রিক্যাল নিয়ে বলতেছিলেন না স্যার একটু আগে?
Symmetrical, asymmetrical are কিছুই না. That is that when it is symmetric, then just a second. Then the buyer and the seller both have the same set of information about the quality of the product. Let me give an example. Somebody hires you. Okay, I'm the person, I'm hiring you. Who knows more about the actual performance of the person? Isn't it you?
Like the performance of what?
How good you are, how
Okay,
well
okay,
you're
yeah.
going to perform. Who knows that? Who has that information more? You have.
I do, yeah. Yeah.
So as an employer, I have one set of information about yourself. You have another set of information about yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Initially, we assume that I know exactly what you are, and you are also aware that I know what you are. Then we'll break it. Because,
Okay,
for example, all organizations, they employ people, but they know very well that they don't know 100% about their employees, do they?
No, they don't.
They don't, but still organizations are flourishing and they're surviving. That's what we'll try to look at later on. Okay.
Also, for now, the assumption is both of the parties know the same thing.
Yeah, both the initially, yes. Acha, this one we had a little bit of problem last week. সেটা হচ্ছে যে what is a formal and what is an informal market. Formal market is, for example, I'm working at BRAC. I have a formal contract with them. I sign it, and there's terms and conditions, etc. Everything is written down in black and white. Informal market is the market where for example, rickshaw pullers. There's no formal contract. For example, I'm going to the road. I'm calling a rickshaw puller, and then he comes and I go take his service. That's an informal market where things are informally done. So markets are two types initially. One is the formal market where everything is done on paper. Another one is the informal market where everything is done verbally. This is one type of categorization, but the thing that we are not interested in is what is known as matching markets. Now, in a market where there will be a kidney transplant, I need a kidney. Can I go to a shop and just buy a kidney and come back home?
No, sir. No.
Over there, even if there is a place where kidneys are sold legally, the only country there where kidneys are sold legally is Iran. And nowhere in the world can you find a formal kidney market. So you find an informal kidney market, and in an informal kidney market, what happens is they have to be matched. My kidney has to match the donor's kidney, otherwise there would be no transaction. This is known as a matching market. We will look at this, but initially we will look at homogeneous, what do you call it, commodity markets, which are known as this one, where, for example, if we're looking at the market for Coca-Cola, do we need to see whether the Coca-Cola matches with the buyer? Huh?
No, sir.
No, because all are same.
Okay, all are same. So, but if this was a special medicine, then we definitely have to match what do you call it? The product
Buyer's requirement.
buyer with the sellers. So initially we look at homogeneous goods where, for example, markets for bananas, market for eggs. These are called commodity markets. Later on, in this semester, I have an intention to do that. That is, we'll look at matching markets. How markets for kidneys function, how we hire people, we'll look at this. So we start with commodity markets, then we break the assumption and move on.
Sir, sir, what about alcohol market? Like in Bangladesh,
That's an informal market.
and in
It's illegal in Bangladesh, but the thing is, it's informal, isn't it?
Yeah.
For example, not only alcohol, you can say, think about
illegal in Bangladesh.
hashish. If you think about a hashish market, you're looking at the same thing, isn't it informal?
Sorry, sir?
Market for alcohol, market for hashish. Are these formal markets or informal markets?
Like
Informal.
Sir, but sir, there are clubs and pubs in many countries of the world which are registered.
Then if something is registered, it is done formally. If something
so
is not registered, for example, rickshaw pullers, are they registered with the municipal?
No.
For some areas they are.
For some areas there are,
Yeah.
for very
But-
few areas, but overall in Dhaka city, are they registered?
No. Sir, another example that I guess you gave in the last class about informal market is that আমরা যে স্যার টিউশনস করাই বাসায় গিয়ে স্টুডেন্টদের বাচ্চাদের
That's
It also,
also that's not an illegal market, but it's informal.
informal, yeah,
Correct.
because there is no registration process formally.
Right, but I'm teaching here in BRAC. I can do the same thing, maybe in my house in a informal capacity. Then it becomes an
Mhm.
informal market. Okay,
Yeah, but the job that you're doing here is formal.
it's formal. So formal and informal market doesn't matter. The main thing is we are looking at commodity markets. Okay, commodity markets over here. So that oh sorry, not this one. Here it is. So we're looking at good where homogeneous goods are being transacted, and this one was incentives. We said that market is an institutional framework that allows large-scale cooperation. Large-scale cooperation means that the productivity will be very high. Okay, now that is possible if two things exist. Number one, that property rights are well defined. For example, I earned 100 taka from BRAC. I know that BRAC is not going to steal my wages, in the sense that BRAC makes a commitment that they'll give me 100 taka, but when the time for payment comes, BRAC gives me 50 taka. That could be possible, right?
So does it happen?
It doesn't happen, but the thing is, if that happens, what will happen? I will have no incentive to work 2 hours extra. If I know that I cannot keep my salary, right?
Yes, sir.
If I know that I can keep my salary, so I'll have an incentive to work 2 hours extra and to earn 2 hours extra wage. But if the property rights are such that what I earn, I can't keep most of it, then I don't have an incentive to be productive. The same thing happens.
You won't even feel like doing the job, sir.
That's what I'm saying. So if I'm like that, if others are also feeling like that, then the total productivity in a market or in a society will be low than what it could have been.
Fall down. Yeah.
Okay, so property rights have to be well defined so that I know what I can keep and what I can't keep. The farms are also like that. If they know that they can't sell what they produce, then they also won't have an incentive to produce more. So the first thing that we assume in a market is that there will be property rights are well defined, and there are two signals. The first signal is prices, second signal is profits. What does price signal? A price signals whether a commodity is scarce or not. If the price of something is low, that means it is in abundance. Okay, for example, people will demand a lot. If something is very high price, people will demand low. Okay, less. So households are looking at this same problem in one way. Firms are looking at it in another way. But the thing is, profits and prices, they just send signals that facilitate resource allocation so that there's no central coordination. As a buyer, I just see the price and I make a decision. Sellers also do that. Sellers do another thing. Once they get this price signal, they know that what things households value. Whatever households value, will lead to more profits for them. Okay, so in a market, we have two signals: prices and profits. So if you look at over here, signals of what goods are scarce or in abundance. So consumers, what do? They respond by adjusting consumption. If the price of something goes up, they consume less in that particular time period. Goes down, they consume more, etc. Firms also respond to prices by knowing which goods consumers value more. And profits, this is a signal basically for the firms. So when the firms see that in a particular sector there is a lot of profit, okay, they move to that sector, and otherwise they don't. Now, we want a market system that encourages incentives for people. This class, if it can encourage people to be productive, what happens? Everybody will make an effort to get a good grade, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, so everybody knows that if I work a little bit harder, I'll get a better grade, and the whole system is also fair. So everybody tries hard, and then they get a grade according to their productivity. Okay, now one person has got a grade of 4 out of 4. Another person got a grade out of 2 out of 4. There's nothing wrong in it, because we've already agreed that the system is fair. The person who worked hard got a higher grade. The person who didn't work hard got a lower grade. Now, the problem is when we take this analysis and take it over time, the person who got a good grade will get a good job. The person who got a lower grade may not get a good job. If this is the way that resources are going to be allocated, then in the next generation, the person who got a good grade, his or her children will have better opportunities in life compared to the person who didn't get a good grade. Doesn't that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so in this particular time frame, this is okay. The person who works hard gets a good grade. Person who doesn't work hard or could fail to work hard got a lower grade. But if this is the indicator that gives you access to income in the market, then there is one problem with markets that require government intervention. Markets are great, but they are neutral in the sense they if you have access to wealth and income, then you have access to purchase goods on the market. In theory, this is not a problem if we look at this class, but this can lead to inequality over time. Every society is unequal. Some societies are more unequal than others. Inequality is an inevitable consequence of productivity in a market. Then the question is, how much inequality will a society tolerate? How much? That's the question. Okay.
Yes, sir. Till it comes to the basic needs, I think.
Yeah, but even then, that's a relative question. Basic needs means in the context of Bangladesh, how much basic needs can this society afford to give? Okay, but in another country it will be another. But the thing is, productivity, fairness over time will definitely lead to some kind of inequality in the market, in the society. The question then becomes how much inequality.
But sir, But sir, is there any other way to go forward? Like, is there any other way going forward? মানে productivity ছাড়া আর তো কোনো উপায় নাই স্যার, মানে যে গুড গ্রেড পাবে না তার তো মানে স্যার মানে বিপদ হবেই, তাই না?
আচ্ছা, বিপদ হবে, এটা কোনো সমস্যা না। The thing is, what type of good are we looking at? If we are looking at COVID vaccine, then definitely just because I have money, my child will get a vaccine. Another person doesn't have money, that his or her child will not get a vaccine. That is not accepted by any society.
Okay.
Then we need government intervention. Then the government intervenes, which the government has in the context of Bangladesh and also in the context of other countries. So
sir, what you're basically trying to say is that government intervention will be there in regards of some specific products and services.
Specific products that where the society expects the government to intervene for a law and order.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Law and order,
Okay.
definitely we don't want to give it to the private sector, do we?
No.
Maybe the government will not be capable of doing ensuring law and order. That's a different thing. But will any society in the world give the responsibility of law and order to the private sector?
No. তখন তো স্যার
Never, because
partiality হবে।
private sectors will always look for the profit, but government may not.
Government we expect that the government
Should
will
not.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the thing is, we are not interested in inequality in this course, but it's just passing that fairness is great, but over time, fairness and productivity can lead to inequality.
So এখানে fairness এর definition টা কি? Productivity তো বুঝলাম।
Fairness means, for example, if somebody gets 4 out of 4, another person gets 3.5 out of 4. If they are worth 3.5 and 4, isn't that fair?
Yeah, মানে যে যেটা মানে পাওয়ার কথা সে সেটাই পেলো আর কি।
আচ্ছা, এটা I mean, let me give you another example. Suppose I give everybody 3.5 out of 4 in this course.
This is not fair, huh? This is not going to be fair.
This is definitely not going to be fair. Okay. So we cannot expect everybody gets equal share.
Yes, sir.
But inequality will be there in every society, but how much inequality will a society tolerate? That's a relative question. That depends on that particular society, but all societies have a common thing, that when things are extremely unequal, for example, in COVID vaccine context, definitely the society expects that the government or the state will provide. And that's why the government of Bangladesh or the government of any country is providing this vaccine for free.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
so not only
Now, sir,
Bangladesh, look at any other country, they're doing it because the society expects the government to do it. And if we leave it to the free market, no government intervention, then that will be very unequal and very unfair.
Disaster. Yes, sir.
তাহলে স্যার the point is এই যে
Some
আপনি
will
মানে আপনার fairnessটা regarding making grades ওইটা eventually কোন ক্ষেত্রে inequality তৈরি করতে পারে।
Inequality সব জায়গায় করবে। It'll
ওই
create
ওই
inequality
fairnessটা।
everywhere. Yeah, but the thing is, how much inequality will you tolerate?
Okay, sir, got it.
But we are not looking at this. It's just to know. Okay. Now, we just said that prices is a signal through which resources will be allocated on the principle of supply and demand. There are alternatives to pricing, and this is what you are going to have to read. Okay. Wait, do we have it? This is on page. Okay, wait. Let me bring it out. Where is it? Is it in this one? Let me see. Is it here? Let me see. AJ. Okay. This is on page 32 of chapter 2. Chapter 2, page 32. Okay, now let me give you an example. When will you suppose we want to see Bangladesh has reached the final of the Asia Cup. The final will be held in Dhaka Mirpur Stadium. Okay. Now, what do people do? Don't they stand in a line or a queue to buy the tickets?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So eventually sir black a ticket বিক্রি হইতে শুরু করে।
Don't worry about black. Let's look at it at white first. Okay. So when we sell tickets for the Asia Cup final, and Bangladesh has gone to the final, and the opposition is either India, Pakistan, or Sri Lanka. So all the tickets are sold in a queue. Are they sold? Can you use prices to sell the tickets? Yes, you can. Then it will become a black market, right?
Yes.
If
Sir,
you use prices,
টিকে তো প্রাইস দিয়েই শুরু হবে তো
না
স্যার
না তা হোক, কিন্তু ঘটনা হচ্ছে, for example, I want to buy for the grandstand. Okay, if I don't sell them in queues, what will happen? Each ticket will sell at a different price, right? In the black
ও if
market.
you don't sell in queues, right তখন সেক্ষেত্রে
Yes. So if for example, grandstand, there are 2000 seats, and if I don't sell it in a queue, then what will happen? Each ticket will be sold at a different price. So
Yes, sir.
there are some commodities, you have to read in page 32, where we will be using queues. People stand in a line. Now, who stands in a line? Who will want to stand in a line? Somebody who is willing to wait. They will stand in a line, right?
and buy it in the মানে proper price.
Okay, now, suppose I don't want to stand in a line. Let me give you another example. If I don't want to stand in a line, I should be prepared to pay a higher price. If we go to an airport and we are boarding a plane, don't we see 2 or 3 types of lines? One is the economy class, one is the business class, one is the first class.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what happens if I'm traveling business class or first class? I get some
Have to
added
pay more.
advantages because I've already paid for it, right?
Yes.
I don't stand in the queue of the what you call it, the economy class.
Economic.
So when we're not using prices for this system, what we're doing, we're using some special categories. Now, in many universities or many offices, you will find that one of the lifts is reserved for teachers or some or the head of the organization. Have you noticed?
Management. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You will notice this in many places in Dhaka city. Those of our friends who are not from Bangladesh, they will notice the same thing in their residence cities. So what happens? People are standing in the line for a lift, but some people are more important than others. So what we are going to look at, I'm going to frame a question regarding this. When do we go for queues? Another thing is lotteries. What is a lottery?
স্যার লিফটের যে এক্সাম্পলটা দিলেন স্যার ওটার আর কি মানে পয়েন্টটা ঠিক বুঝতে পারলাম না মানে কনসেপ্টের দিক
আচ্ছা,
থেকে কিভাবে
lifted
রিলেটেড
example is, I don't know about BRAC. Does BRAC have a special lift for somebody?
নো স্যার দে ডোন্ট
Wait, ঢুকতে বাম দিকে একটা আছে, ওটা ছোট, পিছনে একটা আছে, ওই একদম ভিতরে সাইডে একটা আছে না, যেটা 19 তলা পর্যন্ত যায়?
হ্যাঁ স্যার সবাই যাইতে পারে ওটা
That is also for general.
As a general. So BRAC doesn't have this type of system, but you go to some government offices or some private offices,
yeah sir we
you
know
will find 1 or 2 lifts that's exclusive.
for special people.
For some type of people, you see that. Now you get very irritated. Why is it so like that? But when you go to the airport, you see the same thing. You see a line where economy class people are queuing, and then you see another small line where business class or first class people are queuing. Okay, the same thing. It's the same thing over there.
কিন্তু স্যার ওইটা তো ফেয়ার তাই না কারণ ওইখানে তো ইকোনমি ক্লাসে যারা দাঁড়াচ্ছে তারা কম পে করবে
Yeah,
বিজনেস
you see
ক্লাসে গেলে
in
তারা আরো
times
বেশি
of
করবে
price.
That
but-
is the point.
Acha, but the thing is, when you're looking at the building, the person who is more important, okay, he has to get to his office earlier, because if he doesn't get to his office earlier, the whole system will not run. So both are fair, but the thing is, queuing means, are people prepared to wait for the good? Number one. Number two, if we sell it by prices, then the same thing will sell at different prices. Grandstand, there are 2000 seats. If we sell them in the open market, it will become a black market. Some people will pay one rate, another group of people will pay another rate. That's
Heck,
why when we
কিন্তু
want to keep the prices correct, then we do that. Okay.
কিন্তু স্যার মানে গ্র্যান্ড স্ট্যান্ডের যে লাইন বা কিউ
হ্যাঁ।
তারপর হচ্ছে ওই মানে খোলা গ্যালারির যে কিউ ওই দুইটা তো ডিফারেন্ট হবে তাই না
ওদেরও different হবে, but the thing is, we're standing in a queue for those tickets, right?
হ্যাঁ স্যার
If we buy them on the open market, it becomes a black market. Do we agree on this?
জি স্যার এটা তো মানে ওই গ্র্যান্ড স্ট্যান্ডের ক্ষেত্রেও খোলা গ্যালারির ক্ষেত্রেও দুইটার ক্ষেত্রে
That's applicable for both parties, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, sir.
Lotteries is acha lotteries ta dekhi how we allocate resources through lotteries. Is there any prize in the MBA program for a valedictorian, the person who comes out topper? Is there any prize?
They'll get waiver.
They'll get a waiver. Okay, lovely. Now, everybody in your MBA program has paid a fee. This is a private university, the fee is a little bit higher. Even in a public university, the fee there is a fee. It's not zero. But the valedictorian gets a unique prize. Isn't that a lottery?
What's that? বুঝলাম না, sir.
Everybody in this course has paid a price.
হ্যাঁ, না স্যার, আপনি কি যেন বললেন, ভ্যালিড কি জানি একটা বললেন, স্যার?
Valedictorian, the person who is number one, the topper in the class. The topper in the class may get their tuition fees waived, right?
Waived completely, yeah.
But the thing is, this is only one prize. So,
Only
but
one will get.
in order to get that particular prize, everybody had to pay a particular fee. That is what a lottery is. Everybody pays say 10 taka, okay, and the top prize is say worth 10,000 taka. Only one person will get it. The valedictorian is also like that. Everybody has paid their fees in this MBA, but at the end of the MBA, the person who's the topper in the class is declared as the valedictorian, and that person gets a special prize. We can distribute lots of goods through lotteries. What you're going to where is it? So AJ, so what you do, এখানে অল্প একটু লেখা আছে, it's written very little. You read how lotteries can be used for resource allocation. The last one is coupons. You tell me from common sense how we can allocate resources through coupons. Will you give coupon to anybody, or somebody who identifies with some kind of special criteria?
We'll set some
Criteria.
Correct. So everybody at BRAC, all the students get a coupon. What is that coupon? You get 500 units of free printing, or 200 units. What's the do you get any free printing in the computer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so whatever it is, it's 100 pages per month or 200 pages per month. This is given only to students. None of the staff is going to enjoy it. None of the teachers are going to enjoy it. Nobody else. So the coupons are given to a certain a group of people who can be identified. Okay, acha. So this type of resource allocation was used in the 70s in Bangladesh. It doesn't exist now. If you ask your parents or your grandparents, in this country, they used to have a blue card called a ration card. Have you heard of the ration card?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
So the ration card, it gives you access to a certain amount of rice, certain amount of sugar, etc., etc. So basic groceries, which you can buy at a very reduced rate. Now, if I didn't have a ration card, that means the government or the society deemed that I was rich enough to buy it. So those who had a ration card, the blue card, my grandpa has it as well. So because of that, he had access to a certain amount of goods. If he needed more, then he had to buy it from the local market or open market.
Also, এখানে the card is the coupon.
Card is the coupon, right? In your case, in BRAC University, for the printing case, your student ID is the coupon.
ID card, yeah.
ID card, okay, you swipe your ID card, or you give your ID card, whatever, and then the system recognizes that you are a certain characteristic, and the printing is free.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
স্যার, আমার লটারি নিয়ে একটা কোয়েশ্চেন ছিল স্যার। আপনি যে এক্সাম্পলটা দিলেন যে ব্র্যাক ইউনিভার্সিটি যে হচ্ছে টপার, মানে হি ইজ গোনা গেট হিজ ফিজ ওয়েভড কমপ্লিটলি, কিন্তু স্যার এটা তো হি ইজ বেসিক্যালি আর্নিং ইট, তাই না? লটারি তো না এটা।
Nah, I'm just giving this as an example, but isn't that also a lottery?
কি হবে স্যার?
Everybody has paid the tuition fees.
হ্যাঁ, বাট হি স্পেশাল, হি হ্যাজ মেড আ স্পেশাল রেজাল্ট, তাই না?
So এখন তুমি lottery doesn't necessarily mean that you will get the number one prize through throwing a dice. It can be by working hard.
Okay.
Okay,
It can be by working hard. It can be earned by working hard.
correct. So
Sir,
that
I
is-
have a question regarding rationale of queues. Queues are when is a matter of the, I mean line. I mean especially for the teacher.
Hmm.
I mean specific lines, a specific class. That means it's I mean, what does it mean? It's the prices or the tickets are we getting? We are getting. That's basically maintaining by a queue. I mean, it's a class,
Hmm.
dividing by class. Is it, sir, or something else?
no. The thing is, the queue, we allocate resources through queues for main thing is if we use the price system, then what will happen? There will be havoc. Those who the same the good will be sold at different prices. In the context of a ticket to a sports event, the grandstand tickets will all sell for say 2000 taka. But if we give it to the open market, not a single ticket will be sold for 2000 taka. They will be sold on the black market, right?
Okay. So, sir, it's
Okay.
defining this the legal one. I mean, illegal way.
Legal way, yes. And another thing is in the context of what you call it, if there are two types of queues, for example, economy class and business class, then what happens? Those who are more important, this is called most valuable customer, MVC process. The most valuable customer gets a special treatment. So if you are an executive in the organization, you get a little bit more pampered than somebody else, right?
Okay, sir.
So that's how it's done. Just a second. Okay, what we'll do, we'll give a 10-minute break now, okay, and then we'll start again.
Okay, sir.